Welcome to CEC Gurukul online lectures. I am Dr. Parveen Sharma. Today in this session, our topic for discussion is capacity building of teachers. You know, it is said that destiny of India is being shaped in the classroom. How and who is the framer, who is the designer? Definitely the teacher itself. So it becomes vividly clear that teachers in the classrooms should be well trained. So the capacity building of the teachers has to be taken care of. What do we mean by capacity building of the teachers? We will discuss. What is the concept? What do we mean by capacity building of the teachers? And what does it mean in the educational setting? What is its need? How far it is important and helpful? And what are the strategies that we can go towards capacity building of the teachers? Let us start the discussion. What is capacity building? You know, if we want to turn the educational policies and reforms into realities, capacity building of teachers becomes imperative, because if we keep on talking theoretically, it doesn't have any importance. So we have to turn our policies and the knowledge and the reforms what we do, we have to give these reforms into real practice. So it becomes imperative. Teachers are the pillars of education system. It is evident that systematic reforms and policies require that teachers and students must change their ways, because just now, a second before, I was speaking to you that destiny of India is being shaped in the classroom. So teachers must be well trained, and teacher has to adapt himself or herself according to the new demands of the society. So it is important that students as well as the teachers must change their ways according to the new demands of the societies. So we see now the question arises, do the teachers possess the abilities and capacities to meet the demands? Because when we are talking that teachers must be well trained to develop the abilities and capacity of the students according to the demands of the society. So the basic question which arises before us is to see whether the teachers possess these abilities and capacities to meet the demands. Education is the greatest tool to bring the desired changes in system, because we are emphasizing on it that the desired changes must be brought in the education system, and who can do it very effectively? Definitely the teacher is the agent who can bring the changes in the system. Through education, head, hand and heart can be trained. So this is the education which can develop the capacities of head, hand and heart itself. So all the domains of learning can be developed through the education only, because knowledge, skills and attitudes, they can be sharpened through education only. Because if we are talking about the requirement of the trained teachers, so it becomes imperative that the teachers must have updated knowledge, updated skills and attitudes, because I'll be speaking to you further that the students imitate their teachers. Whatever teachers say, they find it true. So the attitude, skills and knowledge must be sharpened, and these are sharpened through education only. So it makes clear that education is an important pillar. Now we see that what is the meaning of capacity? Capacity is the ability to understand or do something and building is an increase in the amount of something over a period of time. So we are aware that world is changing fast. It is essential for us to keep pace with the world, because when we are talking world is changing at a fast speed, so it is essential that our teachers must be trained to keep pace with the speed of the world. So capacity is the ability to understand something, and building is an increase in the amount of something over a period of time. See how it can be said that building capacity in educational process can help in upgrading, renovating, acquiring skills, abilities and strategies that will help the teachers in adapting and reacting to academics. So when we are talking that the knowledge and skills of the teachers must be updated, because we feel or we expect that the teachers must have the ability to adapting or reacting to the academics according to the demands of the society. See, professional training, teachers' communication skills, lesson delivery, effective discipline, classroom assessment and effective role model come under it, because when we will discuss what is the need of capacity building and what are the strategies to develop the capacity of the teachers, we have to see what are the factors we include in. So classroom assessment, effective role model, communication all come under it. See, the skills and knowledge needed by the teachers to participate in education sector are developed by capacity building, because we are trying to emphasize that teacher is the important agent, teacher is the important pillar who can play a pivot role in turning the theories or the reforms into realities. So if we expect that teachers has to participate in education sector, so this will be possible when we emphasize and when we take care of the capacity building of the teachers. It is a lifelong process and not a once in a lifetime thing. See, we are talking that it is a lifelong process. What is capacity building? Meaning by, it doesn't mean that once a teacher, always a teacher, means the teacher has to upgrade his or her knowledge and skills regularly, because it is a lifelong process. Because if the teacher is updated, only in that case the knowledge and skills of the children, of the learner, of the students will be honed, will be sharpened. So for this, survival organizations and communities have to adapt accordingly. If we want that we have to survive accordingly, so the organizations and communities have to adapt. And how they will adapt accordingly? When we have to learn to go according to the pace of the time. The skills, instincts, abilities, processes and resources have to be developed and strengthened, because we are talking about the skills also and the resources also. Our resources have to be updated. Then further I will be speaking to you about the ICT, about the instructional teaching methods, because we have to update our teaching instructional methods as well as teaching aids while we are interacting with students in the classroom. This is known as capacity building. So all the resources, all the skills, all the methods and the processes which a teacher is using have to be upgraded, and this is known as capacity building. Because before we talk about the ways of capacity building and objectives of capacity building, it becomes essential to understand what we actually mean by capacity building. See, How the mindsets and attitudes are generated and transformed is an important factor. We are talking about mindset, how the mindsets and attitudes are generated and transformed. We'll see and we'll discuss the capacity building is one of the important target of Sustainable Development Goal 17. It also focuses on increasing technology and innovation, because just now I was speaking to you that we have to use the latest technology in teaching and learning so that our students may not lag behind in this fast changing world. So, universities can serve as centers of developing capacity building through research, innovation and analysis. We have to emphasize on research innovation also, because after emphasizing on research, innovation and analysis, we will be able to keep pace with the developments which are taking throughout the world. So, for this, we expect that universities can serve as centers for developing it when we are talking about research, innovation and analysis. Further, we see that capacity building in educational setting is, according to Beasley and Shabby 2010, capacity building in educational setting is a process to assist a school or college. The process involves combining elements and resources within a school to benefit all stakeholders. After knowing the meaning of capacity building, we are trying to understand what does it mean in educational setting. So, in educational setting, it is a process to assist a school or college. When the functioning of the school or college is taking place, then capacity building will help to smoothen the functioning of the school or the college. The process involves combining elements and resources within a school to benefit all stakeholders, because our ultimate objective is to provide the benefits to all the stakeholders. We see the purpose of enhancing knowledge, skills and abilities of everyone will be accomplished by creating suitable programs. How? When we are talking that we have to enhance the knowledge, skills and abilities of everyone, because we are talking about the benefits to everyone, to every stakeholders. So, the purpose of enhancing knowledge, skills and abilities will be accomplished by creating suitable programs. It is expected to work as a catalyst. For example, if it is seen that students are facing the problems of self-esteem and behavior, then the programs of capacity building will have to be created which will be helpful. I have just taken an example that if we see that students are behaving in an aggressive manner, or we see that due to stress of different kinds, they are having the problem of self-esteem and they are having a fear or anxiety or sort of frustration. So, that kind of problems when occur in the school or in the college, then the capacity building programs will be really helpful. We will see how the teacher must be trained, meaning by if there are such problems on the part of the students or other problems which occur in the functioning of the school, then the capacity building of the teachers will be really helpful. So, we will have to organize such programs which enhance the capacity building of the teachers. See, such issues related to behavior, personality or others act like an obstacles in fulfilling the goals and missions of the school. we have goals, mission and different vision of the school, and we want to fulfill our goals. But when such issue occurs regarding the behavior of the students or their understanding level or their personality level. So, I'm just taking examples related to behavior or personality. Other kind of problems can also occur when these issues or others they occur. They are like an obstacle in fulfilling our goals. So, we have to see why these obstacles occur and what are the types of these obstacles and how to remove these obstacles. There is an urgent need to pay attention to such issues, because if such issues which create an obstacle in the functioning of the school are there, then the development or growth of the school or the individual or the society or the community may have a great problem. So, in order to bring desired educational changes, knowledge has to be integrated with research so that there is an alignment between schools and school systems. See, we are talking about alignment between schools and school system, meaning by when we make the reforms, when we frame the policies, they must turn into realities, and how these policies will turn into realities when there is a coordination between the schools and the system, when there is a alignment before schools and school system. So, we see it is to be seen how students can be empowered with the required competencies for civic and economic participation in the 21st century. We are talking about those competencies or economic participation or civic participation on the part of the students, which are really essential in the 21st century. So, we have to empower the students, and how we can empower the students, that all rest on the capacity building of the teachers, because the students follow the teachers. So, if we want that students should be empowered, their abilities should be developed and they should participate in economic development, then we have to focus on the capacity building of the teachers in 21st century especially. The issue how to transform public education system is to be given importance, because capacity building of the teacher will be really helpful in transforming these reforms. We have to focus how to build a better world. We are talking about the developments of 21st century, and we really wish, this is our vision, this is our mission, that we have to build a better world. Collective leadership is required. One cannot do everything. We want a teamwork, so we require collective leadership. Tools have to be developed for improvement. Curricular aspirations need to be broadened and deepened, but curricular goals differ, so the programs will. See, it is very important to understand that we have aspirations and we have to fulfill those aspirations. We have to think about the progress of the individual and the society as a whole. So, we have to see the broaden and deepen goals, but we also acknowledge that the curricular goals differ, and when we acknowledge that curricular goals differ, definitely the programs will differ. So, we will have to find out, or we will have to frame the strategies or the programs which will accomplish or which will fulfill the curricular goals which are different from each other. See, In the work of the Global Education Innovation Initiative, we have seen that different groups use different technologies and different meanings to reflect broader educational goals. This is not new idea. Rather, Rousseau, the great philosopher, was also talking about cultivating the capacity for independent thinking and proposing goals. See, when we are talking about these aspects in 21st century, I would like to remind you that long back even Rousseau was talking about the cultivating the capacity, because he opined that if we want independent thinking, then our teachers must have a capacity to think independently, because the goals or the mission of the education will be fulfilled when students follow it. And how the students will follow? When the teachers have the capacity for independent thinking. Then I will talk about other philosophers after Rousseau. Pestalozzi, the great educationist and philosopher, also proposed that goal of education was to educate the full range of human capacities. Because after Rousseau, Pestalozzi also said, if we are talking about the progress of the individual and the society, we have to educate the full range of human capacities. In the early 20th century, John Dewey and Maria Montessori also gave the same thoughts, that we have to think about the whole humanity, we have to think about the progress of everyone, because only in that case we can think about the progress of the nation, progress of the society. Every stakeholder will be benefited. So, we see, my dear friends, that it is not a new concept, but the new terms and new vision has been given, because we see the long back this concept was also emphasized. So, I hope by now all of you are clear that for the progress of the nation, the capacity building of the teacher is essentially, because if we emphasize on the capacity building of the teachers, then the progress of the students will definitely take place. Thank you.